Good morning. It's a little after 6 o'clock on Saturday morning, and I'm about to take the 4th vial of this strep protocol that I'm doing. So this is like a homeopathic remedy. You would take it like if you actually had strep, but it also can be beneficial if you have like an underlying infection, which one of the practitioners that I'm working with has suspected based off the testing that we've done and a lot of my history that there might be an underlying strep infection. If it is something that's going on for me, it could be really beneficial. So we decided just to give it a try and see what happens. So it's these little tiny vials of liquid, and like this is number 4. Is that right side up? So there's like 10 of them in this whole packet. You take one every 3rd day. So I started it last week, like a week ago on Thursday. So I did the first one on Thursday, second one on Sunday, then I did a 3rd one this past Wednesday, and now 4th one on Saturday. I wanted to start recording this now because once you get to about number 4, vial number 4 or 5 is when they say things start to happen. So this is kind of the point where people start to notice symptoms or symptom relief, or just basically start to notice that something is changing. And so I kind of wanted to have documentation of if anything occurs for me over the next few days, so that I have good notes on anything that happens. Interestingly, when I took the first vial, a couple days later, I did actually have something happen that hasn't happened to me in quite a while. So a little backstory, when I first kind of started investigating my fatigue and like other things that were going on, one of the symptoms that I had was that every year in the spring, when I would first get out in the sun, I would get this sun rash on my arms, and it would just kind of be in a couple areas. It was like on my inside of my left wrist, and kind of like along my thumb on my right hand, and like some of my fingers. It was very weird. It would happen only like the first time I would get out in the sun as it got warmer, like spring into summer, and then it wouldn't ever really happen again. It would be like a little irritating for a couple of days. It was kind of itchy and red, and then it would fade away, and like I said, it would sort of never happen again. It was always one of those things that was just like, that's kind of interesting. Not really sure where that's coming from or why that kicks up like once a year and doesn't ever return. But when I have talked with my naturopath about it, like we've always just sort of noted it down. So last weekend, I was at a horse show in South Carolina. I had taken the first vial on Thursday morning, and it was Saturday that I was out in the sun in the afternoon, but I've been out in the sun all summer. I've been out in the sun quite a bit since I've been riding a lot. I had been out in the sun that whole week at the horse show as well, but it was like Saturday night into Sunday morning, I woke up with this rash all over my arms again. It doesn't really show up. You can't see it. I don't know if you can see. This is really bad light anyway, but it's kind of fading a little bit now, but basically like it's sort of red and itchy all over my left wrist again, a little bit on this right hand. And not only did it show up again after I hadn't had that occur, like it didn't happen this year, I don't think it happened last year. So it had been a little while since I had seen this crop up again. And then it kind of came raging back. It really hasn't gone away since then, which also is kind of odd, because usually when I've had it in the past, it'll fade away pretty quickly, but it's not only has it stuck around, but it's also still been pretty irritating like this entire week. It's been about a week now since it came up, and it's still itchy, it's still red, and I'm just again, another kind of interesting thing to note, whether this strep protocol is kind of provoking my immune system a little bit. Is it stirring some things up that have kind of been dormant? Not totally sure. It could be completely unrelated, but that was the first thing that, again, I just kind of noted it down because it was a change, and it happened right after I had taken, or a couple days after I'd taken the first vial. So we're on number 4 now. We're going to see what happens next. So with these vials, you just put the liquid under your tongue. You're supposed to hold it there for like 30 seconds and then swallow. I find it very hard to hold something liquid under my tongue without it just sort of absorbing, but that's what we're going to do. Doesn't taste very good because it's in like an alcohol solution, so it's sort of gross, but we'll see what happens over the next couple of days. Okay, it's now Sunday morning. I took the 4th vial of my strep protocol yesterday morning. Still have the sun rash. It's still going pretty strong, which is unusual. Like I said before, I've never had it last this long. It's been over a week now that I've had it, and usually it would take like a couple of days for that to fade away. And it's still like quite red and kind of itchy. So that's definitely a different pattern than what I have ever noticed before. And then this morning, I definitely woke up with a cold sore starting on my lip. You probably can't see it. I put some stuff on it, but it's very small, but I definitely can tell that something is coming up there too. Again, both the rash and the cold sore would be signs of like an immune system activation, which is kind of something that we might expect when I am taking this protocol, especially if there is something going on in my immune system where I might have like an underlying strep infection. So now we're kind of provoking it and stuff can come up like a rash or a cold sore. So interesting to note. Again, it could be totally unrelated. I have no way of knowing one way or another, but just taking note of these things. I also there are times when I felt like ever since I started this protocol, there have been a few times where I felt like kind of that feeling of getting a sore throat, or kind of like that little bit of just like sort of scratchiness in your throat, or sort of tightness, I guess is kind of the best way I can describe it, where you feel like something is coming on, but it never really develops into anything else. So again, could be totally unrelated, could be kind of my imagination because I know I'm doing this and I'm looking for any clues or anything that might be changing, but just kind of noting that down as well and seeing if that continues or if it becomes any stronger. All right, it's now Tuesday morning. I took the 5th vial of this strep kit this morning. Definitely do still have a cold sore that cropped up on Sunday morning, I think. So after I had taken the 4th dose on Saturday, next morning had this cold sore. You can't really see it. Luckily, I have this really great stuff that I actually got when I was in Spain for my jaw surgery. I had a lot of mouth sores then, just because after the surgery, you're like taking antibiotics and it was really uncomfortable, and they recommended this stuff, which I sadly have not been able to find in the United States, and I don't think I've been able to find a way to order it online. I'm going to be very sad when I run out of this little tube, but it's called Aloe Plus. If you're in Europe or somewhere, you can get this. It not only works super well for like cold sores or canker sores, but it's like, I think all it is like aloe vera and hyaluronic acid. There's no like weird ingredients or preservatives or stuff like that in it. In any case, I've been using this on the cold sore. It's been helping a lot. Another really weird thing I noticed this morning was that I woke up and like my right hip and my right ankle are super sore and kind of achy in like a very strange way. This is not anything I've ever experienced before. At first I thought maybe I had like slept funny, but the way that it hurts, it just doesn't feel like it's the kind of thing where you sleep funny and that then you wake up sore. And the part of my ankle that's sore, like it feels like I slammed my ankle into something and bruised it. That's kind of what it feels like. And same thing with my hip. It's like my whole right like hip and pelvis just kind of aches. It's kind of weird. So again, that could be totally unrelated to anything. Maybe I did just sleep funny. I'm not sure, but just kind of noting these things down. So this afternoon, I am going to have a session with a practitioner who has me on the strep protocol. So I've also been doing some myokinesthetic work with him, where we've been working on basically like upper body, like kind of neck, shoulders, arms, to try to sort of retrain my nervous system to reduce pain and give me better range of motion. I still have some issues with this left wrist that I broke a couple of years ago that's caused some restriction. And even within that, like kind of the brain retraining, the idea of rewiring a little bit and helping my brain to maybe like release some old patterns that are just have been kind of stuck there. Not only can that help me maybe with some tension or pain and restrictions, but also could potentially just sort of help rewire my nervous system overall and maybe kind of get my brain firing a little better, where some of these other issues that I've been experiencing, like the hormone problems, fatigue, etc., could be tied into that too. Definitely already noticed some benefits from doing, I think I've done like maybe 3 or 4 sessions, like 1 per week over the last several weeks, where we've done this myokinesthetic work, where I feel like my left side, my left arm, my left wrist, I feel like the muscles on that side are definitely responding better. I have better range of motion when I work out. I feel like I have a little more strength and power, more muscle recruitment on that side. I don't feel some of the restrictions that I would feel or some of the discomfort that I might feel like after a workout. That's been really cool, and I'm excited to kind of see as we continue forward what else I notice. So I have another session this afternoon. I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit of video footage of that, and then I will be also kind of checking in with him about the strep protocol, where things are at, what I've been noticing, and what I should be looking out for as I continue on with it. I also am going out of town tomorrow just for a couple of days to go to South Carolina to ride. So that will be kind of interesting timing because I will, let's see, so I took the 5th one this morning. Then I will be taking the next dose on Friday, which will be when I'm in South Carolina and I come home Saturday. So we'll see if with the travel and with continuing to go through these vials, if anything comes up between like number 5 and number 6, but we'll see how things go over the next couple of days and with the travel. Hello, it is now Wednesday evening. I am in South Carolina. I'm here for a couple of days to ride, just using my phone, and it's propped up very strangely, so sorry for the kind of weird setup here. But wanted to check in after my appointment yesterday with Tim. We did the myokinesthetic work, and then we also checked in about the strep protocol. I had taken the 5th vial yesterday, Tuesday morning, and then just kind of gave him the whole download of like all the little symptoms I've been noticing. The other thing that I remembered that I talked with him about a little bit that we both thought was kind of interesting was quite a while ago, like maybe almost a year ago, I had taken another supplement that had been recommended to me by a geneticist I was working with at the time that was also immune support. And when I took that, when I kind of ramped up the dose of that supplement, I had similar results or similar symptoms as I've been getting now. Like I started to get some cold sores. I had a couple of times where I got like a sore throat, but had like no other symptoms. So like I never had a fever, I never had a cough or anything else, but I just had this like raging sore throat for like over 2 weeks. It was very strange. And I even like, I had gone in to the doctors and gotten tested for a bunch of stuff and everything came back negative. Sort of had no idea what was going on. Finally figured out that it might be like a response to that supplement that I was taking. I took a break from it and like the symptoms went away. But again, it was just interesting to note that like another time when we had specifically targeted immune system support, I had gotten some of the same symptoms that I'm experiencing now or have noticed a little bit so far with the strep protocol. I take the next dose, which is the 6th vial, will be on Friday while I am still here in South Carolina, and then I head home on Saturday. So I mentioned yesterday was like having a weirdly sore right hip and right ankle. He was suspecting that might be because of some of the myokinesthetic work we've been doing. We've been focusing on upper body, like head, neck, shoulders, as you saw, like kind of down arms and wrists and everything like that. And what can happen is as you start to sort of change some of the patterns that are going on there, it can have a trickle down effect where then like other things start to become more noticeable. It's almost like you start to, I don't know if fix is the right word, but like you start to kind of get into the deeper layers of some issues that are going on in the upper body. And as that starts to release a little bit, it's gonna like reveal other patterns in other areas that then need attention. And interestingly, my right ankle, actually, when I was like pretty little, when I was like 7, I think I sprained my right ankle really badly. I had to be on crutches for a couple of weeks. And many years later, I also got a stress fracture in my right ankle and had to wear a boot and kind of like limped around for a while. So I do think that ankle and up to that hip has been affected by those things as well. Maybe we're like sort of unwinding some deeper patterns in my tissue that it's like showing up in some of these really old spots. Yeah, all of that to say that the human body is quite amazing and really interesting, and curious to see what happens next. It's early on Monday morning. I just took the next vial, number 7, in this strep protocol. I wouldn't say I've noticed anything major in the last few days since I took the last one on Friday. The soreness that I've been having, like in my left hip and my left foot, that we think is maybe kind of like a myofascial shift from doing some of this upper body work, that's still lingering a little bit, but it's a lot better. I think my cold sore has finally gone away. The sun rash has totally gone away. A little bit tired, more tired maybe than usual. I also was traveling and I had one night that I didn't sleep super great, so that could also be a factor. Another exciting thing this week on Wednesday, so it's Monday morning. Wednesday morning, I go to my orthodontist and get my Invisalign. And then we'll be getting that whole process started as well. Okay, this is kind of random, but I'm in the process of getting a new bed. I ordered a new mattress recently that I'm waiting for that to be delivered. I've had my mattress for a really long time and I honestly never really loved it. I always had to kind of like add different padding to the top of it to make it as comfortable as I wanted. Anyway, I finally ordered a new mattress, and I also ordered a cooling mattress cover from 8 Sleep, and I actually had a previous like cooling mattress cover from a really long time ago, and the technology on it honestly wasn't great. It's kind of loud. It sort of is a hassle to maintain. So since I was getting a new mattress, I thought it was time to get a new cooling mattress cover. This one also does track your sleep as well, which I'm pretty curious about to compare to my Aura Ring and kind of see what kind of data it collects. It does have like a 30-day money-back guarantee as well, which is great. So if for any reason I don't love it, I can still return it. But I did want to test it out. We're gonna see if I can get this set up. So there's this water tank that goes in the hub piece, and that's what circulates cold water or warm water through. There's like little tubes in the mattress pad, and that's what heats or cools while you sleep. Okay. I believe we have set everything up properly. Now I just need to make my bed again. Am I the only one that dreads making my bed? Like putting new sheets on my bed. I love having clean sheets, like getting into a bed with clean sheets, but I just hate the task of putting fresh sheets on my bed. Okay, I think we have completed the setup. I don't love that I have to have this black base thing here, but I could move it to the other side of the bed. I might try that once I get my new mattress and just see if that feels less sort of obtrusive, I guess. But it's not the worst thing in the world. It's going to be a lot quieter than the previous like cooling mattress pad that I have, which is really nice. Very curious to see what I think about this and also what it says about my sleep in comparison with my Oura Ring. Good morning. It is Wednesday morning. I'm just about to walk into the orthodontist for my appointment to get my Invisalign. I'm a little bit, not necessarily nervous, I know that this is going to be a long process over the next many months, and I'm excited for the outcome at the end and to see progress, but I know it's going to take time and that there's probably going to be an adjustment period here of getting used to wearing Invisalign again, and just that's going to be maybe a little bit annoying and there might be some discomfort or, pain, etc. It's been quite a while now since my jaw surgery, and there was so much that went into the prep for that and afterwards with the braces and the different surgeries and everything, and it was really nice these last couple of years to have a break from kind of all of the mouth work. So while I'm excited to see where this goes, I feel like, okay, kind of embarking on another process here that's going to be potentially like up to a year. I can just kind of feel like a lot. So I am, a little bit not super excited to go do this, but hopefully it will be a pretty easy transition. And I'm not allowed to film in there, but I will check in when I'm done. All right, we're back. Sorry if the air conditioning is loud. The sun is like beaming into my car and it's hot in here, but got the Invisalign on. I have some little I don't even know what they're called, the little dot things that they put on your teeth to help hold the Invisalign in place. And I only have those, a couple of them on the bottom. The bottom one is actually kind of hard to get on. Like, she had me practice putting it on, and it took me a while to be able to kind of hook it onto the little dots on the bottom. So it definitely feels a little tighter on the bottom, but it feels okay. It doesn't feel super uncomfortable. It's a little weird. It feels a little funny to talk. But overall, I think I'll get used to this fairly quickly. And they gave me my first, 3 months worth. Well, there's 13 what they call active weeks, and then there's 3 weeks after that just hold in place until you start the next one. So you do a check-in in between. So 1 tray a week. So every Wednesday I'll switch to a new tray for the next 3 months, and then I will be checking in with them again. There's a fair amount of movement that's going to be happening over the next 3 months. They were able to show me on their little graphic technology thing, these first 13 weeks, what my teeth are going to be doing. So that's kind of cool. Feeling a little awkward, feel a little bit like I have things on my teeth, and definitely have to take some getting used to. Good morning. It is the next day, so it's Thursday morning. I have my Invisalign in, so if I sound a little funny, still kind of getting used to wearing these. My teeth are definitely sore. It's not terrible, but I did kind of forget how it's sort of immediately a little bit uncomfortable. I think I was mentioning yesterday, the bottom Invisalign feels a bit tighter. I think there's just more going on down there, at least initially, and that's where I have the little connector dot things, which just makes it harder to fit on or snap into place. The upper one feels pretty fine, but yeah, just a little bit uncomfortable, and I guess that's gonna be kind of the theme for the next while. I also took the 8th vial of my strep protocol this morning. So I had another session with Tim, who is putting me through this protocol and also doing the myokinesthetic work. I saw him on Tuesday, and what we decided to do was, because I seem to be tolerating this well, and I had a little bit of stuff that came up kind of closer to the beginning, when I had the sun rash and cold sore, but then as we've gone through, I haven't had anything major happening. So we have the second, basically the next dosage up, the new 10 vial package that I will be starting once I finish number 9 and 10. So I'll have a couple more days to get through the rest of these, and then I'll kind of go on the same schedule. So it'll be 2-day break, and then every 3rd day we'll start with the new package. And this next step up is it's a lot more potent, I guess, or it's the strength of the actual remedy in there is a lot stronger. So it'll be kind of interesting to see if that changes anything or if how I tolerate it. Since it's been going well so far, we're just gonna kind of jump right in and really hit it hard this next round and see what happens. And then I also wanted to do a little update on my 8 Sleep, the mattress cover that I put on a couple of days ago. So I've had a few nights to sleep on it now. And here's my honest opinion of it so far. There are some things I really like, and there are some things that are not my favorite, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about it overall, like if I want to keep it or what I want to do. But on the positive side, I have been sleeping well. It definitely cools very well. It's super quiet, like it makes zero noise. I did figure out how to turn, there's like a little indicator light on the bottom of the base that it functions out of. And at first I was like, this seems really dumb that you have this like bright light on here when it's supposed to be in your bedroom next to your bed and you're trying to sleep. It's supposed to promote good sleep. Why would you have this like ridiculous light on it? Luckily there is a way that you can turn it off, so I was able to turn it off. The only problem is that then the light does tell you, like, is it cooling, is it heating, is it, offline, like is it not working or whatever. If there's a problem, that's what the light, different colors of the light will show you. So I guess you just have to like check in on the app to be able to make sure that it's functioning correctly. Very comfortable, it works really well, it's quiet, it's doing its job. The things that I don't love is that it does have to be hooked up to Wi-Fi, and like basically you're using an app on your phone to control it, and that's how it like starts up automatically at night. But I prefer to like put my phone in airplane mode or even turn my phone off a couple of hours before I go to bed. That's been a big part of my like evening routine. It helps me wind down, keeps me off my phone for a couple of hours before I go to sleep. And because it functions through the app and the Wi-Fi, you have to leave your phone on or the pod will not turn on at night. So maybe for a lot of people that would not be an issue. It's not my favorite thing. I wish there was a way to operate this without having to use the app, but that is not the case. One other thing is that it does have a little bit of a smell, which I'm assuming will go away. It's just new out of the package. I wish I had left it out like in the open to kind of air out maybe for a couple of days before I put it on my bed. It hasn't been bothersome, like it's not something I notice while I'm sleeping, and since I'm assuming it's gonna go away over time, I don't think that's really a big issue. But if it doesn't go away or if it does start to like irritate me in any way, that would also be kind of a negative. In any case, I want to give it the 30-day, at least, or at least a couple of weeks. It does have a 30-day trial where you can still return it. So I want to at least give myself enough time to really get used to it, see if like over in the next couple of weeks, like how my sleep is looking. It does, like I said, it also tracks sleep, and it's been quite accurate, or at least it's been very close to what my Oura Ring says. They've been almost identical at least first couple of nights. So I feel like it probably has pretty good sleep tracking capabilities. So I'm curious to see over a couple of weeks of using it, like does my sleep improve at all? Is anything better from using this? Which again might push me towards keeping it, even though I don't love the Wi-Fi connectivity piece, but we shall see. I think that's gonna be it for this video, but I will continue to do more updates as I move through this strep protocol and on to the next round and continue doing the myokinesthetic work or anything else that I try in the near future. And thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.